It's on.
Oh, it's on. I'd like to call the meeting to order of the Parks and Recreation Advisory Board. Request for staff confirmation that the Kansas Open Meeting Act requirement notice was properly provided.
It was.
Thank you. Roll call.
Paul Gebhardt.
Ashley Campbell.
Kevin Janaszek.
Larry Penkratz.
Ann Zimmerman.
No guests. No citizens foreign. Approval of the agenda.
I move we approve the agenda as presented.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to approve the agenda. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Approval of minutes.
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes.
Oh. Second.
We have a motion and a second to approve the minutes. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Activity reports.
Thank you. As I normally do, I'm hit some highlights.
I don't think you're on. Your mic's not on. Thank you.
Thank you so much. As I normally do, I will be hitting some highlights for the month of May. If there's something that the board would wish for me to, for staff to answer, we can certainly do so. Parks accomplishments. We had performed playground inspections. We perform that on an annual basis. Landscaping. We started prepping beds and planting annual flowers in all of our parks that are listed there. Primarily, I want to make sure if you haven't seen Oakdale Park, it looks beautiful. The cost of flowers are going up. I remember seeing invoices of 16, 17,000, and now we're getting into the 20s and 22,000. So
is that just for Oakdale or for all the stuff?
That's for all.
Yeah, that's
right. One bulk order for all of our annual.
That's downtown and everything.
That's Sunset Park, Oakdale, Jerry Ivy, and the downtown.
Okay.
I'm not sure where those annual plants are in the downtown, because Salina Downtown does the pots, and we have perennial plants that go into the rectangular beds on 9th Street. And I'm not sure if you've had a chance to look at the two plazas that have new shrubs in it, but they look amazing, Strand and Spillman plazas. Kenwood Cove, we had a rough start to the season. The weather and the coolness and the water temperature was not a great opening to our swimming season. And even yesterday, we had inclement weather that caused us to close the pool. But they are fully staffed, 130 seasonal employees.
Pass-wise, is that about the same amount do you usually have, average?
Yeah, that's about 100. Well, since we've addressed part-time seasonal staff wages 3 years ago or so, or 2.5 years ago. Really, since that point, we've been at that 120 to 130 mark for the pool, anyways. It's really had a great impact on that, positive impact on that, and about 50, 60 of those are lifeguards.
And then also all the passes that are sold, is that about an average of what we usually do, or?
Over a 3-day period, that's I would say for a start of a season, that's pretty typical, but I would have to compare that to previous years. I think it's probably down because of the weather. That's what I would speculate. Under Lakewood, with the improvements that he's made inside Lakewood Discovery Center, he's seeing the amount of time people stay inside Lakewood Discovery Center increase. He does measure that. And catfish stocking started, and they did sampling. I believe they do that with the state of Kansas, where they take a random sample of fish in the pond to determine the population of species in the pond. Therapeutic Rec, TR Fit program becoming very popular and very talked about. Getting them to exercise and move is important. Special events, we had our first ever movie, outdoor movie, and there's a picture of that movie and later on in the packet, and that was at Dean Evans Stadium. I attended, and Travis was there. A lot of us were there. It was really a neat experience, and I've always wanted to host an outdoor movie, and Sarah made it happen, and it's a great thing.
Didn't I hear something like 400 showed up or something like that? Yeah, that's
That
great.
picture was taken prior to the movie starting, so.
And what was the movie?
Sandlot.
It was a Sandlot.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
And that was in a partnership with B Wealth, and so go ahead, Travis.
Yeah, I think we created a beast there. We wanted to try it for the first time. We did, and now we got the football people want us to do a movie for football, and now we got soccer people wanting to do a movie for, so I think it's springing some buzz. So we'll get back to the drawing board and see what we can or cannot do moving forwards. But it definitely was a successful event.
Bike rodeo, teaming up with OCCK Transportation for the first annual bike rodeo. We did that in the plaza right by the corner of Santa Fe and Ash Street, on that where the stage is at. And then summer camp was prepped and trained staff in May, and for the first time ever, Travis might speak about this a little more than me, but as of today, which is the mid-June, we have 5.5 more weeks of camp, and we are full. We have no spots available for the remainder of the summer for that camp, which in my time here, I don't know if that's ever happened.
Great.
And so
And how many kids are in that camp at a time?
80,
80?
yeah.
Wow.
So we filled 80 spots for 8 weeks, basically, which was, quite amazing. I'm assuming Travis wants to talk about some of the Fieldhouse athletics activities, and I'll let him do that, and I'll finish up.
Sure. I was going to mention Beyond the Field. It definitely created a beast there, so that was a great event. As far as the field house go, we do slow down quite a bit in the field house. Everybody's wanting to be outside, but we do still have a few activities, spring activities finishing up there, including adult volleyball and some other miscellaneous items. But we did have one indoor event, and that was an MAYB tournament. So that was a good tournament with 29 teams. Outdoors, we got a lot going on, a lot. So baseball, softball fields, you're probably driving around. There's probably not one that's vacant, would be my guess. Dean Evans and Pestinger family stadiums are just jam-packed full. Bill Burke, we did start league there towards, I think it was the third week of May, with 84 teams. So that's, again, 6 more teams than we had last year. And then last year we were 6 teams up. So I believe the turf is making a difference. I wanted to speak to that a little bit. We've had kind of a rough late spring, early summer as far as weather goes. So, but the turf has definitely enabled us to play in a lot of situations that we normally wouldn't have. But I also wanted to explain to you that we still have to cancel some. Last night, perfect example. I don't think we got a drop here in Salina, but we were in severe weather, and the lightning alert was went on at 5:54 and did not come back off until 8:34, which means those people would have sat there for 3 hours waiting. So we made a right decision of canceling due to the severe weather or lightning. So we do still have situations like that. Just wanted to make sure you're aware of that. Soccer, 39 teams for spring. That's awesome. And 3v3 is on the horizon coming up this summer. So soccer's is strong. And we did have adult softball, like I mentioned, this spring. That was the first time since pre-COVID we've ever offered that in the spring. So, and they're playing up there on the dirt field still at Barkley Family. They did get rained out quite a bit, but we finished them. Outdoor events, we only had 8. That's a lot. And so 8 big events, in my opinion, in the month of May. One couple to note, we did host the JUCO Region 6 conference championships up there at Dean Evans Stadium. That was 3 to 4 days. And then we hosted the Acacia 4A State Baseball at Dean Evans Stadium as well. For the month of May, we did total 150 teams, tournament teams, for just that month. That's a good month with 8 events. So, and then just to finish again, we had the Sandlot there at the Dean Evans Stadium, which it was a cool event. It was really, really cool. That's it.
Finishing up with, I wrote down a note here and wanted to make sure the board's aware. Travis brought up lightning alerts. We've had a lightning detector at Burke for quite a few years now. Just this past fall and winter, we added a lightning detecting unit at Oakdale Park, which serves kind of the Kenwood Park, Oakdale area, and it's helped with special events that are being held at Oakdale Park, especially the River Festival or future events. Also serves the Kenwood Cove to hear that lightning alarm that goes off. There's a detector on top of the TPEC roof, which has a radio signal that sends to another horn, which is inside Oakdale Park. And with the success of that, we've also identified, we have one at Burke, we have one at Oakdale that serves some of those outdoor areas around that area. We identified another need for another lightning detector on the hill on Barkley Road, serving the golf course and the fields that are there. So people can hear that auditory sound when there is a lightning detected within 10 miles. So this fall and into next year, we'll be looking at adding a unit, and it's going to be very important about where those are placed because of the residents there and the nursing home that's there and the retirement home that's there. And so we want to make sure they're placed properly. But we see the need for having another lightning detector in town. The city manager also has been supportive of that to see if we can put one that would serve the golf course and the ball fields there as well.
And the philosophy is once that goes off, it's 30 minutes until you can resume any play?
Right, that's correct.
It's loud.
It's loud.
And it just alerts, hey, let's get off the fields. And then we do have I call it a little widget, but we do have a little countdowner. So it's on our website. So what it does is it counts down. Once that lightning is detected, it'll start counting down to 30. But then if lightning strikes within that area again, the counter starts over.
That's right.
So it gives the public something to see. Hey, what are we waiting on? Well, I'll show you. That's our countdowner. So that does serve a big purpose. And so it comes with that package.
Right.
That's been very, very beneficial to have.
I'm glad to hear the update. It's on the website. I didn't know that. So
Yep.
that's good to know.
Yep.
Yeah. Thank you. Golf course tournament plays strong. Customers really enjoy the GPS feature of the. I wouldn't say the comments I heard were enjoying, but in a sarcastic manner. That if they try to get onto the green, they cannot. They cannot do that.
Can they back up? Can they
Yes,
get off?
yes.
Okay, they can only go backwards then.
Right. Lastly, facilities maintenance. Highlights from the construction division about Oakdale pickleball bathrooms are finished. Exterior improvements, and those were open just before River Festival, with the last remaining items to be that were completed just before the River Fest, which was a great thing. We have some pictures in there of some activities from our therapeutic rec program, and then we have the picture from Dean Evans Stadium for the Beyond the Field movie night. And then there's a picture of, I believe that's water jugs that were provided for Dean Evans and Pestinger family stadiums inside each dugout, and those collaborations that occur. And this is soccer end of season pictures. So those are some of the pictures we provided. Yeah, again, if you have any questions about anything I didn't cover, or Travis didn't cover, didn't cover, let us know.
I know this covered May, but I know the River Festival, Oakdale Park looked really good and everything went well.
Yeah, it did. Got some reports this morning that I heard from Brad Anderson, who's the Arts and Humanities Director, and he said it was a very successful event. Some of the improvements of using technology to help with and not do so much cash, and having the entrances have the ability to do digital transactions to support purchases of entry into the event really were very helpful. Yeah, it was a great event. I learned of a new food item, of a hot dog covered in mozzarella sticks.
Yeah,
I would love to have tried that. I did not get a chance to try it.
Well, what surprised me is Monday afternoon, except for the trailer house there, it looked like there just hadn't even been a festival. I mean, that's how, nice job cleaning it up. So.
Well, we've been doing it for, 43 years, so I think we
Have it down.
You have yourself, huh?
we as a city have been doing it for 43 years.
Yeah. Yeah, next year's 50, so. All right, anything else on that? New business?
I talked about some of the improvements that we are been doing. Looking at, we recently, or about today or tomorrow, having a change order approved for the dog. Let me back up a minute. Dog park construction at Parker Park, which is the park next to the Carver Center and by the animal shelter, is ongoing. We have done all the improvements we can until some of the items that have been on order arrive, and that'll be sometime in July that the structures arrive. Meanwhile, we've have a change order of additional work that will be on the existing contract for the contractor to perform some additional work at Barkley Park, which is a request of the Barkley Park user group to expand the gathering place at Barkley Park on all 3 sections and then add additional shade. We had a presentation about 2 weeks ago, week and a half ago, June 9th, I believe it was, to ask for that, request the governing body to approve that change order. As soon as that gets approved, then we'll have 16 weeks or so. That will take 16 weeks for the metal structures to arrive. We'll start doing concrete work to expand the amount of concrete at the entrances of Barkley Park and add a shade structure onto all 3 of those sections. And then next on June 23rd, we'll be at commission next Monday to do landscape propose landscaping improvements on the South 9th Street median corridor. The landscaping that there was done between 1997 and 2007. And it's time for a refresh and a replacement of that landscaping that's there.
So is that by Lowe's? Is that when you say?
That's from Broadway, on 9th Street and Broadway, all the way to south to Schilling.
Everything along there.
Correct. Now we're doing this in phases, so it won't be everything along there. It'll be a phased approach, and we're requesting governing body approval for the first phase, which is really the end caps of the where the major intersections are at. So where Otto Avenue by the Brown Shoes or the paint stores at, down to Belmont, Magnolia, Schilling, and Saturn Avenue are all those major intersections that have end caps to that median where people see a lot, and they're very visible because people stop there to wait for traffic or wait to turn. So that's our first phase of what we're proposing, replacing mulch with rock, going in with colorful shrubs that'll have year-round color, improving irrigation systems and drip lines, and improving that landscaping overall. It was kind of something we were tasked with about 2 years ago, along with some of the landscaping in the downtown. That was also identified as a needed improvement. We funded that with some funding in our general fund, and then phase two, and potentially in the phase two in 2026 would be kind of going from the intersections inward into the medians. And so that's what we have on our, that's our new business, and that's what we have on the city commission agenda for the 23rd of June. Speaking of which, as well, we are also pursuing quotes right now for additional Barkley Park work to add a section of fencing to Barkley Park, so we can expand that and have it as an overflow space. The success of Barkley Park is kind of spurring some of these improvements and how it gets used, and so but that's for right now. We're just getting quotes right now for that.
Any questions on the new business? Update no bills business?
Barkley Park again. We have, I intended on adding it to the packet, but I can speak to it. We had some, we have a planned method of rotational maintenance of maintaining the turf. You've been presented before from the citizens who are concerned about, weeds, that little barley native grass that comes in, that once it starts drying, it gets into dogs' paws. We have upgraded our maintenance of the turf area, and I wanted to make sure the board was aware that we are kind of doubling down, if you will, on that chemical treatment of that area. So not only would we look at it as early fall to do a pre-emergent, and we would be looking, and also a broadleaf weed treatment, we would be doing that again in the spring, which is an added step, which we did not do before. So we're going to be looking at it as a twice a year chemical treatment to get on top of the little barley, if you will, to try to get a better stand of grass, which is very difficult in the dog park because it gets used by dogs. That's why we have rotational maintenance. That's why we close one per year. It is going to result in more closures. It is going to result in more closures of the dog park, so we can take that 3 to 5 days to water in that pre-emergent and not allow dogs to have exposed to that chemical. So it is going to result in more closures. And then we're going to have closures coming when we start doing some of this other work. So I just want to make sure the board's aware that it's going to result in more maintenance. It's going to be close, but I think the end result is going to be positive. I think it's going to be difficult to get on top of dogs. I think dogs are, use that area well, and but rotational maintenance will be there so we can get a fresh stand of grass and reseed and water it in and things like that. So
A lot of the other events you have, you can track how many people use it. Can you track how many people use how many dogs and people use the Barkley
No, I don't
Park?
have a method to do that. There is some things that the city is looking at to geofence certain areas. For example, the software is quite expensive, and there's a partnership going on with the city and Visit Salina where we can have that software and have access to the software. You can geofence the dog park, and then by cell phone activity, you can tell how many people are accessing the dog park, but not right now. I don't have that ability to right now.
Got to remember that could be disc golfers too. So.
True, right. Yeah. I'll keep the geofence tight
Oh, yeah, thank you.
to the parking lot, just in front. But we do have that future ability, but not right now.
Any other questions?
But just
Go ahead.
anecdotal, sorry to interrupt
That's all right,
you,
no problem.
Larry. Just anecdotally, what we get and what the public comments are is that I can't believe how many cars are at the dog park. I can't believe how many dogs are in there.
Yeah.
I hear that at least weekly, I think, of how successful Barkley Park is.
No, I've been impressed.
And I think just from observing, I think in 2015 or 16, when we put this in, we planned for the dog component. We weren't really planning as well for the human component, and that's what we're trying to rectify with shade and additional gathering spaces.
How about Parker Park? Is it getting usage now? Is it open?
It's not open for the dog park.
Yeah.
It's not open yet. The fence is up. The concrete work is done. We're waiting for those metal structures to come in. Those will be in July. July 23rd is the date I was told today. And as soon as they come in, we will finish that off and get it open.
See, Parker Park.
All right, project updates. If there's not any other questions.
Yeah, I talked about a couple of these maybe. Talked about the dog park already. Talked about 9th Street, which was my note. We met with a sand volleyball contractor today. They will be starting work mid-July at Jerry Ivy Park to install two sand volleyball courts. Starting, I don't know if it started this week, probably not because of the rain, but we have some additional sidewalk work going on at Bill Burke on the south side of Bill Burke, around fields 1, 2, and 3. Just replacing sidewalks that sunk or cracked or old. Restroom remodels, I talked about Oakdale briefly. We're done with Oakdale. We're moving on to Lakewood Park. They have the roof structure going up now. The roof trusses were installed. And next step is to get a roof on it. And I don't know what the status of that, but that's what they're working on right now. Jerry Ivy Memorial Park. We talked about sand volleyball. I anticipate having a bid out later this week or early next week for Jerry Ivy splash pad. And then just today, I think today I'll have a bid out for concrete improvements that will open in July. And that will be several more ADA ramps, sidewalk replacements, a lack of sidewalk where we need a sidewalk to access a shelter or a bathroom or a pickleball court or whatever. So more of those concrete improvements that we've done previously. And this is actually our 4th phase of improvements that we've done over the past 2 or 3 years.
So back on Jerry Ivy, is it just the splash park you're getting a bid on now, or are we still looking at the memorial waterfall and all that?
The bid will go out as a base bid for the splash pad. There will be several ad alternates that someone could bid on or not, and for the memorial, for the water feature, water wall component, for additional sidewalks, for lighting, things like that. So, but the base bid will be the splash pad. And we did that intentionally so we can control costs and have more options when it comes to the governing body approving the project based on the funding that's available. And that's all I got, unless I missed something.
Do you have any other questions or announcements?
Nope.
So we take a motion to adjourn.
I move we adjourn.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
We're adjourned for the day, for the month.
Thank you.